Welcome to A Few Minutes with the CEO. My name is Al O'Grady, and for the next few minutes, we'll be talking to the President and CEO of Claimpost Resources, Mr. Charles Gryba. Claimpost Resources has a number of projects underway, and they are all in the Timmins area. The company has over 1,100 staked claim units and 63 patented claims covering an area of approximately 200 square kilometers. The company just came out with a press release about some very interesting drill results on one of its properties, and we'll be talking more about that in just a moment. Claimpost Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CPS, as in Charlie, Peter, Samuel. Mr. Gryba, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Charles, as I said in my introduction, you came out with some very interesting drill results at one of your properties. Charles, walk us through this. Tell us about those results and really more importantly, what it really means for shareholders.
We've been staking claims in the Timmins area for 7 years. We became public last April. It's difficult to find, Timmins has been explored extensively over the last 100 years, so it's difficult to find a new gold system. What my motives have been is to, number one, explore the ground that we've been staking. And secondly, I looked around for an unexplored gold system that had been discovered in the past, in the 30s or in the 20s, that hadn't been followed up with modern exploration. To that note, we bought 49 patented claims from a Toronto company that owned a gold zone that had been explored with about 15 drill holes in the early 1930s. Once we bought the patented claims, we did a very thorough ground geophysical survey, MAG, deep IP, and then towards the end of the year, we flew a deep EM survey east-west to cover not only the Dayton property, but also the racetrack property to the west that we had purchased from Electra last August. In total now we have about 10 or 11 square kilometers east-west on the south boundary of Timmins. And the Dayton Gold Zone appears to go directly down strike of the long property position. We've now drilled the Dayton property with these two holes that we've just announced. We've drilled it over 1,000 meters of strike length, and we've hit scattered gold values all the way down to a 500-meter depth as we've drilled to the west.
Okay, let me just jump in there for a second, Charles. As far as those drill results were concerned, what was your reaction? I mean, were you pleasantly surprised? Is it a quiet confidence, something that you knew all along? How did you feel about that?
Well, what really surprised me with the second hole is we intersected Porphyry at 200 meters. We knew we had a very good anomaly in the area, but we didn't know what was causing it. Visually, at 200, just below 200 meters, we intersected a porphyry that looks the same as if you go to Lakeshore's website's porphyry that they show on their website. It looks exactly the same as that. And the next pleasant surprise we had is we've gotten I think 15 gold intersections in narrow, fairly low grade, but it shows the porphyry is fractured up, the rocks around it are fractured up, and there's multiple horizons of gold that we're chasing.
Yeah, you mentioned multiple horizons of gold. I think that's really the room for the optimism. You really think that there could be even bigger and better news, especially as you head west. Maybe you can expand on that.
The airborne survey that we flew east-west, and about 2 kilometers to the west of where we're drilling, we've got some targets that look like much higher sulfides. Something is driving this gold system. If there's something with higher sulfides, there may be more chance for more gold, or who knows, we're in the right rock types that it could even be nickel or a VMS deposit. Okay,
so where do you go from here? What's going to be happening with you guys in the next 3 to 6 months?
Well, we're going to continue to drill with 2 drills. The airborne anomaly looks like it's deep, 750, 800 meters below surface. The current drill that we have drilling is only good for 600 meters or so. So we've retained a drill that can easily drill to 1,000 or 1,200 meters.
Okay. Can you give us some sort of potential as to how much gold is really out there as far as where you guys are concentrating your efforts?
It's very hard to know in Timmins. Timmins has produced 72 million ounces of gold to date. Lakeshore to the west of Timmins has found a couple million ounces in the last few years. Just on the north side of Holnor, they found another probably couple million ounces drilling that system to depth. Timmins, you can have giant deposits. We're following a system ahead of us for the next, 10 kilometers. There virtually is no drilling. So if the rock types are the same age as Timmins, we get the same age. We're on the south side of the Shaw Dome, but we're in the same rock units as the main Timmins camp. We have the chance to find, a million-ounce type ore body, or could be quite a bit larger.
Yeah, Timmins certainly has that history of mineral production, and yet you may have found something new in an old story. Isn't that really the case?
Yes, what the IP has indicated is we've got a shear zone that is basically parallel to the Dester. There's a number of places from Timmins to the Quebec border that the Dester has several parallel parts to it. Our drilling to date, we've intersected faults. We've now hit porphyries. We're following a gold system. So we've got gold, we've got structure, we've got the porphyries. And as we go west, we're hitting more and more narrow intersections. Hopefully, as we move 500, maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000 meters along strike, maybe we hit a lens that is thicker and higher grade.
Yeah, we've been talking about Timmins. You have a number of projects on the go, and yet they are all within the Timmins area. Why are you focusing all of your attention in Timmins? I mean, Canada is a vast geological smorgasbord, if you will, but you're focusing all your attentions there. Maybe you can tell us why.
Well, a couple main reasons. Timmins is was the biggest gold camp, but it hasn't had a lot of extensive exploration in the last 30, 40 years. The mines were in operation. They sort of mined to what they thought was the limit of the ore body. Like when I started in Timmins with Pamour in 1980, we had 2 mills running, and I think when I left in 86, we had 8 years of ore reserves. Timmins has been quite thoroughly explored right in around the mines, but historically, people thought that, okay, in the sediments, there's no ore bodies. On the south side of the Dester, there's no ore bodies. What I've looked at putting land positions together to see if I could find another large gold system in the areas that have not been explored extensively.
Okay.
For example, on Dayton-Racetrack, I think we got 6 square miles that doesn't have a drill hole. On the west part of, if you're looking at Godfrey, Mount Joy Township, there's 8 square miles that there is no drill holes. Yet everything is supposedly totally explored.
You're raising an interesting point. You're leading right into my next question. I've literally interviewed, 300 different CEOs of junior explorers, et cetera. For the investor at home that's doing his due diligence and he's looking at different junior resource companies, what is it that sets you guys apart from the rest of the crowd?
The main thing, we've got the same land position in Timmins basically as Lakeshore, about the same square kilometers of land. There's no other junior working in close around, the Hollinger, the McIntyre, the Dome that has a land position anywhere near what we have. If we find something, we'll own the system else. We're not concentrating on 16 claims or 20 claims. We've got sort of major land positions. So if we find a new system, we can properly explore it because we own the land. We won't be spending all our time trying to do property deals to get the next piece of property to be able to explore it.
Okay. Charles, that's it as far as the formal questions are concerned. As always, my guest always gets the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything you'd like to add right now?
I think we have the chance of finding 2 or 3 interesting horizons in Timmins. We're just finishing a large MMI geochem program on Mount Joy Township with a Cisco. That seems to be getting some results. You never know with MMI whether you're getting real bedrock results or you're getting some glacial remnants from some other deposit somewhere. But so far, things are looking interesting. So we'll continue working in Mount Joy Township, and to claim post 100% interest, we'll continue working Dayton Porcupine and around the Kamoskosia Lake area. There, we're looking for a new base metal deposit.
And on that note, Charles, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about Claim Post Resources.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And Claim Post Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CPS. And you've been listening to Mr. Charles Gryba, President and CEO of Claim Post Resources, on A Few Minutes with the CEO, produced by RBL Communications. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks very much for joining us.